At home with Power BI, I'm Zahir Brahma from Sigma BI. Today I'm going to show you how to create buttons. Not chocolate buttons, not buttons that go on your cardigan, but buttons that go on your dashboards and reports. I'm going to show you how to connect that up, give you the different formats that it has, and how to display it on your report. You excited? I know I am. Let's go take a look. Let's go. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create buttons. Buttons are a great way to move around reports when you've got more than one page. It's quite easy to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do it. Right, so here we've got a report here. This is my financial report, and as you can see, I've got 2 pages of information. So what I want to do is create a button that will go from this page to the second page. If I had more pages, we'd have been able to do it for those, but just for button 6, we'll just do it for reports. So what we're going to need to do is go on to and press insert and then go across 2 buttons. Now you do have options to say do a left arrow, right arrow and that kind of thing, but this one we're going to use a blank. So it's going to go down to the bottom, click blank. Okay, so on the top left hand side now it will bring us a blank button. Okay, so put that to the side. Okay. So what we're going to now do is just create the look of it, and we want it to do certain things. So what we can do with this is, first of all, put text on the default state. So there's 4 levels here. So the default state is how it is now, how it look on the report. You've got over the hover. So if you hover over it, what do you want it to look like? And when you press it, what do you want it to do? So these are the kind of options it has. It has a disable option as well. We're just going to concentrate on the default state on hover and press. Okay. So once on press, we want this button to say, I'm going to want it to say FR2 because that's the page I want to go on to. Okay. Let's click on that. And then I want the font color to be white. Okay. The reason why I want it to be white is because I'm going to probably give it a different color background. Adding on it is softness of it. I want it about. We'll just put it about 10 for the time being, but I'll show you what I mean by that. And then the text size, probably want it about size 15. Font family is good. Okay, so now that we've done that on the button text, we can just go on to the fill. Okay, so I'm going to say I want to fill it, and I'm going to want to fill it to default state as, okay, let's go with the blue color. Should we go with that blue? Go a bit darker. Okay, yeah, I'll go with that dark, and then I'm going to put the transparency down to 0. So now we can see that the button is there. Okay. So what I also want to do is give it a bit more of a kind of a shape. So what I'm going to do is go on to the outline. I'm going to keep the outline weight. So what we mean by the outline is outline of the button. So I want to keep it kind of same top, but I want to get a bit of a round edge. So I'm just going to put 5px. Okay. So that will just gives a bit of a round edge as you can probably see there. Okay, that looks fine. So what I'm going to now do is, so that was the default state. So now that I'm happy with my default state, I'm going to go and change the look of it when we hover over it. So this is the state when we hover over it. So you see my mouse, it's hovering over it at the moment and it's doing nothing. So what I want to do is change that so we can see that we are hovering over it. So go to the button text and we're going to go on to hover. the button text is fine, and the color is fine. Padding is fine as well. The text size. So what I want to do is when I hover over it, I want the text size to go smaller. So I'm going to go put it down to 10, and that looks fine. Outline. Okay. So what I also want to do as well with this is when I hover over it, I want it to get a bit more of a rounder edge. So what I'm going to do is put this rounded edges on to 20. Okay. Oops, I didn't change it. So I'm going to go back down to 5, and then I am going to change it up at the top. So you need to make sure we change it at the top. So on hover. So on hover, I'm going to change it to 20. You can type this in there as well, but I just thought I'd use the up and down arrows. Okay, and that's fine. Fill color. Okay, so transparency sort of to about 30%. So basically, when we hover and over it, we can really see it. So let me just show you how we can just type that in here. Okay, that's fine. Oh no, that's not fine because then again I forgot to do the default state again. So let's put this back down at the top and press hover, and then let's put 30% on this. Okay, brilliant. So now that that's done, I'm happy with the hover side of it. So what I'm going to now do, now that I've done the hover, I'm going to do when we click it. So when we click it, what do we want this want to do? So it's going to go back to the top. And you can do this obviously all at once whilst you're in the button text and that kind of thing, but I just thought I'd give you a bit of stages to say, right, okay, when it's in a default state, then a hover state, and then when you click it. Okay. So when we're on a press, I want a bit more of the padding. And then I want the text size to get smaller. So I want it to be about 5. Say if it goes that small. Okay, so the default is 8, so that's fine. We'll just leave it as 8. Should be fine. Okay, so that's got me there. Alright, so now I've done for the press. So I'm going to go on to the outline. So what I'm going to say on the outline as well is when it's on the press, I'm going to do it kind of around 50%, 50px, sorry. 50px, click it, and then when we fill it, I want the press to be a bit more, 50% as well. It's a bit annoying this one, so I'll just choose 50. Great stuff. Okay, now that's that done, we then finally need to action this. Now, you probably want to start off with this first, but we need to action that button, otherwise it's not going to work at all. So we go down to the bottom, click on the action, open that up, and then the type that we want is page navigation. Click on the page navigation, it'll then ask us what destination, which is good. If you had more pages, obviously they will come up in this list, because we've already got just the 2, the other one that comes up, so click on that, and that's fine. So now what we've got here is a button that should be working. So let's give it a try. Okay, so as you can see, this is the default state. When I hover over it, can you see how it has changed size of the lettering, and can you see the color as well? It's given a bit lighter to say it's been hovered over. And then when we click it, see how it went in there, and see how it's gone on to the next page. I think it's quite nifty that it's got quite a lot of features with just the buttons. You can customize it, spend a bit of time. It's get easily used to this, and we could put them all over the reports as well, and can make them all blend in. Now, just before in the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this button onto the other page. So I'm going to Control C, go onto the other page, and Control V. So great, so that's giving me the button. So what I need to do first of all is I'm going to start from the back here. So I'm just going to go to Action. I'm going to make sure it's changed. It'll change to the previous, the first report. As you can see, it's already custom filled that as it's recognized it's on the FR2 page. So that's great. Okay, and then we're going to come back up here, go to the button text, and the default state I want it to be called the same financial report. Okay, now great stuff. So it works. Let me just copy paste that because just in case if it doesn't come over. Okay, so that's great. Skip it there. Brilliant. So it's kept all the information because we copied and pasted it. If you had created brand new, created from the button from new, you would have had to do all that again. So because I copied and pasted, it keeps most of the formatting options that you would have put in there. And just to sort of quickly check, yeah, as you can see, they've all changed. They're all changed. And then we'll have a quick bit of a press, and can you see? It looks a bit more clearer on this one. Let's give it a go. And it should go to the financial report. Let's go to the actions, see if that page navigation. Yeah, should be done. And then let's give it another try. Brilliant. So that's worked. Okay, so that's how it works. Just to make just to be aware, if you wanted to match up your buttons, make sure you copy and paste it onto the reports and then type over it. And that's it. That's how you create buttons. And this is how I've just shown you a few of the formatting options available on the buttons. It's worth you just spending a bit of time going through and getting a bit familiar with the options that they have and try different things. You'll probably work out that there's quite a few things that you can do in terms of being creative with the reporting. You could potentially visualize it. You can place it anyway as well. We can put it within the actual report as well to say, click here to go into the in-depth version of sales by product. So there are a lot of ways where we can benefit from using these buttons, and if we use a bit of our imagination and creativity, the report will be we can make a fantastic report, and which will be quite impressive, not just to fellow developers, but for management and stakeholders. They'll see how creative you've been and and how easy it is to use. I think it's well worth just putting that bit of time into the details, end up with a fabulous report. That's it, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thanks again. At home with Power BI with me, Zahir Brayman. Learn with us by subscribing to our channel to get updated on our latest videos.